Hello and greetings, everybody. I hope you all are well and safe. Thank you for joining this session. You're welcome to another webinar by Reef System. So the topic of today's webinar is how you can secure your network with Reef SBC, with Reef Session Border Controller. I am Sparsh. I am from the marketing team of Reef Systems. And in the panelist section, I have with me Mr. Tanmoy, who is from the product team. I also have Mr. Limon, who is from the sales team. Hi Tanmoy, hi Limon, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, hi. Hi everyone.
Hi.
We are fine. Hello.
I'm fine too. How are you, Sparsh?
I'm good, thank you for asking. So let's move on. So in this webinar, we will discuss a few subtopics. So first of all, we will tell you the types of common threats and frauds in the VoIP and telecom business. So what are the types of common VoIP frauds? And then as you all know, these VoIP frauds cause a huge loss of business in terms of financial loss and also in terms of loss of customers. So then we will tell you how you can improve your network, how you can protect your network and maybe protect yourself from these frauds. Then we will move on to session border controller versus firewall. So what are the features of a SBC and what are the features of a firewall, which one you should use to protect your network. And then in the end, we will tell you how, with the help of Reef SBC, you can reduce these network threats and VoIP frauds to a great extent. So all in all, in this webinar, what we will cover three aspects. First is the common frauds in the VoIP business. Then how these frauds impact you as a business, impact your business. And then how you can use Reef Session Border Controller to reduce these frauds. So now, without wasting much time, I would like to invite Mr. Tanmoy from the technical team. Tanmoy, please take over.
Thank you, Sparsh. Thanks for the introduction. Okay. So first we will talk about the threats we are getting in our network frequently. So these are the threats. You can see the transmission, denial of service, eavesdropping, phishing, and the call fraud threat we are frequently getting in our network. So what is transmission threat? Transmission threat is someone sniff to your network and listening the conversation you have within the network or stealing the piece of data from your network. So they are pushing something on your network to steal the data from the network. Then the distributed denial of service, that is the DDoS attack. So this is the biggest threat in the IP telephony segment. So DDoS has another term for the telephony section, that is the TDDoS, telephonic denial of service. So in DDoS, what happened that from a single source, a lot of request is being generated and is being sent to a single termination. So it makes the service to down. So you have to have the capability to in your network to stop this kind of threat, this kind of frequent requests you have to stop in your network. And for the TDDoS, sometimes it can happen intentionally and unintentionally as well. Like sometimes the packet size is not matching or the packet header is incorrect. Then if the malicious packets are being sent to the network to make the system down. This is happened in the DDoS attack. Then the eavesdropping, as we talked already in the transmission section, that someone is sniffed to your network and stealing the data you have. So eavesdropping is same thing, that is someone is putting a device to your network to capture the data from your network. So they are stealing the data from the network you have. Now the vishing. So vishing is changing the ANI of a call. So what happens when the origination is sending the call, they can use the originating party or the hacker can use the false ANI or a fraud ANI for making the call to the destination. For example, suppose anyone is sending a call using a bank ANI number to a person. So the person who is receiving the call will understand that the call is being made from the bank account, from his bank account. So he might share all the necessary information, all the security credential with the hackers. This way, his access credential is getting exposed. So this is the phishing attack. Then the call transfer fraud. This is also a common and major challenge and major issue in the software for the SoftSwitch user, that someone hacks into your PBX account and make long distance call using your network. So someone outside the network is using your network to send the call. This is the call transfer fraud. So now how your SBC can secure your network from such kind of fraud? So first of thing is coming topology hiding. So what is topology hiding? Topology hiding is hiding the network information from the outside network. So everything you have within the network, you will keep it inside and you will restructure the packet. So whenever the origination is sending the packets, we are creating a session for the origination, and when you are sending the packets to the termination, you are creating a new session for the termination. So the packet headers are getting changed so that no one can get information of the other party. Next part is encryption. As we already talked, a network thread that is eavesdropping. So they can place a device onto your network to capture the data from your network. So you can put the encryption logic onto your network so that if someone is trying to capture the data from your network, your data remains safe because you are encrypting the data you have. Then the NAT traversal, as we already talked in the topology hiding, that we are creating a new session. We are changing the header information. We are changing the IP information for the origination. We are changing the it for the termination. We are creating a new session for the termination. So what happens when the origination is communicating with the SBC? It only knows the IP address of the SBC. It doesn't know the IP address of the other channels with which it's getting connected. And termination also same. Termination never knows about the information of the originating party. It only knows the information of the SBC. So this is how the NAT traversal is working, that you are hiding the topology from the network. Then the IP traffic management. This is also a major thing for increasing the capability of a network. That in SBC, what happened, that a massive call volume might generate from a single source of points. So it should not hamper the performance of the other call, because the calls is distributed overall in the system. It might happen that from some of your sources, the high call volume is being generated or high threat is coming by unintentional way, that sometimes suddenly the request being increased, like CC call, it happened that from a single source a lot of call traffic attempts to your system very frequently. So for IP traffic management, you are making your system robust so that this massive call does not hamper the performance of the overall system. Then the mail from packet, as we already talked in the denial of distribution attack, that is in the DDoS and TDDoS section, that the mail from packet can generate. That is, the packet length can be changed, the packet header can be manipulated so that it can make your service to crash. That it happens several times that QSBC does not understand the packet nature, which makes the service to crash. So you have to have the capability of excluding those packets from the network. So this is another mail from packet protection. Now, till now we have talked about what are the till now we have talked how SBC can improve. Now we will talk about how SBC can improve your network quality. Till now we have talked about how it can save your network. So for increasing the quality of the network, you need the interoperability mediation. That in the topology hiding section we talked about, that is creating a new session for the origination and a different session for the termination. So it can happen that the origination is sending a different payload and your termination is supporting a different payload. So as you are restructuring the packet, your SBC will communicate with the origination using its payload size, and it will regenerate the packet and it will communicate accordingly with the termination. So using the topology hiding, you can adopt the interoperability mediation. Next is media transporting. This is also an important part in the network, that this media transporting capability. It improves the network capacity, your media capacity. That is, suppose consider a condition that your origination is sending G711 codec and your termination is supporting only G729. And if you don't have the media transporting capability in your network, then what will happen? You won't be able to serve those kind of calls. So to serve that, you need to have the media transporting capability within your network, so that the media can automatically decide and transport the codec you have in your network, so that the G711 also served and 29 also served. You can communicate with them according to their available codec facility, so that the network can work uninterruptedly. The voice can run smoothly. So the media transporting is making the voice smooth and increasing the capability of your network. Now, till now we have talked about the network issues. Next part is the fraud. That is, what type of fraud we have in our VoIP section, in the IP telephony section. So in the IP telephony industry, there are several frauds. So we'll talk about the frauds we have. First of all, the international revenue sharing fraud. That is a very common fraud, that is someone hacks into your account and starts sending a call to a single destination. That's why you are losing the revenue, and for a single destination, as they are making the call, that destination revenue is shared within the hackers and the destination partner. So this is how the international revenue sharing fraud is happening. Next is one-giri, or one-time ringing or short ringing. You can say it's a missed call fraud. So several naming for that. So in one ringing cutoff, what happened? The origination party is sending the call, and after one ring is disconnecting the call. So origination is sending the call from a high-paid international ANI. So what happened if the end user sees he got the missed call from this number, and if he tries to call back to that number is having a high charge. So that end user becoming the victim of the short ringing call, because he has to pay high for the destination. Then the wholesale SIP trunking fraud. This is also another kind of fraud. That is, someone hacks to your account. Suppose your account information is stolen, and what happens? They are adding the IP trunk information within the client in your network. So whatever the clients are allowed to send traffic, they are allowing their network IP with those clients. So those clients balance credential is being stolen. This balance is used for sending the call. So this way the system becomes vulnerable. Then the bypass fraud. This is happening through the SIM box. That is, the international call become a domestic call. That is, when the international call is landing to the network, is sending the call to the SIM box, and SIM box is generating the call from its domestic SIMs. So what happens? The international call become a domestic call. This is the way is bypassing the international calling charge. Next part is location routing number fraud. That is also known as LRN fraud. That is, when the origination is sending the call to your switch, it's exposing a different LRN number for your destination, but the destination is not having that LRN. It shares a cheaper LRN number, cheaper cost destination LRN number, but the destination actually having a higher cost LRN. So this way you are losing the revenue. You are charging low cost for the destination, but you have to pay higher to your termination. This is how the LRN fraud is happening. Then the PBX fraud. This is also a common fraud, that someone hacks into your PBX account and sending call to a premium destination number or high cost number. So you are losing the revenues, you are losing the balance very quickly. So in this way, for this kind of fraud, it's in a small amount of time, it's hampering the business very rapidly. Then man in the middle attack, that is MITM attack, that we have already talked in the eavesdropping and the transmission issue, that someone in middle of your network is putting a device to capture the network information, and you can do the data encryption for this type of hacking thing, that when anyone putting a device onto your network, if you do the data encryption, then your data will remain safe and you can get secured from the MITM attack. Now, as we talked about different type of fraud and different type of network issues, so something will arise in mind, which one you should choose for your network. You should choose a SBC or you have to use a firewall. So the thing is, the firewall is a static thing. It cannot serve for all the fraud or all the network capability cases. Like for the transporting, firewall cannot help you on the transporting section. But also, if you think about the fraud, firewall cannot help you using the fraud section. So it's a static thing, but SBC can take the decision dynamically for such type of cases. SBC can secure your network using the dynamic decision, giving different type of alerts for such cases and taking the dynamic decision for when the cases are arising. So for making this industry more powerful, in our Reeve SBC, what we have the high scalability, we have the prepaid and postpaid model, we have the codec transcoding, as we are talking in the media transcoding section, which increase the capability of your network. We have the serial reprocessor, we have the reconciliation system, and also we are having high CPS capacity. Also, we can ignore those packets, the malicious packets from the network, which is making the server overloaded. We can ignore those packets. So we have the high CPS capability with the robustness. Then we have the two-factor authentication that we talked about, the eavesdropping attack or about the transmission issue, that someone is capturing the network data. So using the two-factor authentication also you can protect those data, because if someone even takes the account information, your account is two-factor authenticated. So even using the username and password, they cannot access your account to push any data within your network. So about our session border controller, is a carrier grade session border controller. We have, as you see, we have the high CP capability. So it will give the network robustness under the heavy load. It has intelligent routing facility with the billing platform, with a real-time billing platform. So it can make your business more scalable. Now, till now we have talked about different type of frauds, what type of frauds might happen in your system. So what are the features we have to protect from those frauds? First of all is media analytical ability. That is, we have no media, when one-way media and delayed media capability that we talked about, that one ringing fraud and short call fraud. So it can help you for that. Sometimes happen that no media also sending from a call, that the call is generated but there is no media within the call. So you have to protect your network from those type of calls. Then the premium route call that we already talked in the PBX bypass fraud section. That is how the how your network is getting hampered when anyone is sending the call to premium destination using your service. Then after business hour call fraud detection. So for all those type of frauds, we have the intelligent alarming system. Also, we have the instant alert system over the messaging system. So this will help you to find the threats very quickly and resolve those threats. And also there are some auto decisions availability are there, that SBC can take the dynamic decisions for the DDoS type of attack. And also it has the ability to detect if anyone which is not whitelisted within your network and trying to push traffic within your network, it can show those traffic information that these are trying to push traffic within your network. So you can block those traffic from your network. And also, if someone is trying to access your account with brute force attack or something like that, so we have the protection for that also, that if someone tries to log into your account with invalid information more than a certain amount of time, we are blocking those IP information so that it automatically blocks the IP information for the hacker to stop him from pushing the brute force attack in the system. Then the abnormal ASR ACD and short phone call duration alert. So whenever anyone is making that abnormal ASR or the short ringing call, the system automatically generates the alert for them so that you can take the action based on the alert. Also, all the alerts which are generating, we can give the alert in team can take immediate action for that. So this is the solution architecture, that the SBC is how the SBC is bordering your network, that one side is having the origination section and other side is the termination section. So when the OTT, the retail IP calling, the wholesale call, all are coming to your network and you are sending to your termination, in middle the session border controller is working to protect the network, to increase the capability of your network. So that different type of network increasing capability we talked about, that is the topology hiding, NAT traversal, then the media interoperability, and so this will help you to increase the performance of your network. So I would like to invite Limon now to describe how you can take a demo for our SBC. So I am giving the floor to Limon to explain further.
Thank you, Tanmay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. I think the session was useful. So you can take a demo of this total live platform from our website. That is, if you go to our website, reefsoft.com, www.reefsoft.com/product, then select the Reef Session Pointer Controller or Reef SBC, then you can get a demo. Or you can share your email address and contact number in the comment box, and we can also contact you and send the demo from our side. So we have a global sales team. As you can see, we have a sales manager for almost all the region across the world. So no matter where you are, we are here to help. So do let us know, and I hope we can help you. So I'm just passing to Sparsh now to move forward from here.
Thanks, Limon. Thank you, Tanmay. Indeed, a wonderful session. So now I'm opening the session for question and answers. If you have any questions, you can ask now. There are two buttons in front of all of you. One is Q&A. So you can click on Q&A and type your question from there, or you can raise your hand, click on raise hand, and we will allow you to talk. Yeah, in between, Tanmay, we have one question from Mr. Jahangir Alam. He wants to understand all this basically in Bangla language. So maybe after this session, we can have a one-to-one session with him and we can explain him in Bangla, I guess. Tanmay?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So guys, we are waiting for questions. Anybody has any question, please ask or raise your hand. We will allow you to talk. No questions. So I think, Tanmay, that was a wonderful session because nobody has any question. I guess everybody was able to understand everything. So, okay, just one, I'm getting one question, just a second. Okay, from Mr. Samir Ahmed, we have, can you share the pricing of, okay, pricing 1000, 2000, 5000 cc. So, Limon?
Yeah, definitely. What I can do, I will get his contact, and one of our sales manager, according to his zone, will contact him, and definitely we will get back to him with a detailed pricing plan and everything.
So you can note down the name Sameer Ahmed. He is looking for pricing. And Tanmay, you can also note down the name Mr. Jahangir Alam. He is looking for Bangla translation of this PPT. In between, I also have one question, Tanmay, for you. So let's suppose I have a network and I install SBC onto my network. So what is the percentage of frauds that I can detect and I can protect my network from? Let's say I get 100 attacks in a month. So what do you think? 80%, 90%, 95%? What is the type of percentage you think we will be able to protect our network from the outside frauds?
Okay, so the thing is the system is taking the decision dynamically. So, and it's configurable as well. So it depends on how you are configuring the network. So if you configure it well and for all kind of fraud attacks, behavioral attacks, all kind of attack facility we have, the protection facility we have. If you enable all kind of protection, then your system will remain secure 100%. But it's better not to say about anything 100%. But yes, the most of the attacks will be prevented.
Okay, so we can say above 90% or maybe 95%. Right. Great. That's I think a great number.
And the thing is, we are always working on the threat section. So in our network.
Okay. So we have one question here. We have one question from Mr. Thakara. Is SBC can set up and work only with one location? Hello, can you hear me, guys?
Can you hear now me? I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I think my internet was unstable a little bit. So is SBC can set up and work with only one location? So that's one question we are getting from Mr. Thakra. So can SBC, we need to set up in only one location or?
No, you can set up in any location or you can set up in multiple location as well, as we are having the 1+1 redundancy. So you can set up in in a single location, you can place 2 SBCs, or even you can place multiple SBC to increase the robustness or increase to make it more scalable.
Okay. I think
so. You can place multiple SBC in multiple locations.
I think as another part of the question is, or is it need to, need all endpoints need to set up SBC for connecting each other? That was the second part of his question. Sparsh, if you can see.
Yeah, right.
So, whoever sending the call, you have to configure it that to which network it's sending the call. So you can put up a single SBC for putting up your every client here, and you can put up your every client here. So from everywhere and every location, they can send the call to a single location, and you can control from a single location.
Okay. So now we also a new question is coming in. Are you doing any modification to GSM gateways with dynamic IPs?
No.
So Shafir, I think your answer, your question is being answered.
We are not. It's not actually related to the GSM gateway. GSM gateway is a different thing. So we are not doing any kind of manipulation on the GSM IP network.
Okay. Anybody else? Anyone has any other question? Please feel free. Okay, I have got a raised hand. I am allowing him to talk. Mr. Russell, you can talk now, I think. Oh, I think he's. I think he got disconnected.
Right.
Okay, what we'll do, we will contact him. I think we have his email.
Mr. Russell. So maybe you can
just in case if we miss him, we'll contact him and ask him the question, what he wants to know.
Right. So now another question is coming in. Can we integrate any CRM software with this?
Currently, any CRM software integration is not done. We have not integrated any CRM software. So currently my answer is no, but we are open for all kind of customization. So if anyone needs, we can move further. We can investigate further to
Right. So
understand
I
the
mean,
scope.
certainly that's possible, but I mean, that's a
Right.
customized job if somebody
Right.
is looking for that, right?
Want to connect, right?
Great, great. So I think the answer is yes, we can do it, but right now it's not done. So if anybody has a requirement, we can do it. And now one question is coming from Mr. Sameer Ahmed. Can you share a little more about LCR management?
Okay, we are having there are two types of LCR we have. One is for rate management and another is for routing. So for the routing LCR, we are having the automatic routing decision. That is, if you put the route on the LCR, then automatically system assign the least cost route, and then it's sorting the route list according to the least cost. So you can put the priority and the LCR together for a route set. So if all the routes having the same priority, then the system will work on the least cost. So basically, to work on the least cost, you have to assign the termination rate. So if you define everything, the system automatically work on the least cost. Another part is we have the LCR for the rating as well. That is, you can select the termination rate and you can generate a LCR least cost rating from that rate. So you can select multiple rate sheets from there and you can generate a single rate sheet using the LCR position. So if you can take a demo, we can explain you more details on that.
Okay, so please take a demo. I think you know how to take a demo now. Okay, okay, yeah, he got it. So any other, okay, one more question is coming in. For example, I have a location A to B. Location A sending traffic to location B. I need to improve my voice quality and made stability at location B. Is that enough to set up SBC at location B? That's a question coming in.
Okay, the thing is, you have to you might be placing the SBC in middle of network A and network B. If those are not A and B is not within in your network, and B, if you are the B party itself, in the origination is directly sending the traffic to you, and you are the B party, so you have to place the SBC on the B location for improving the traffic quality. And if the B party is someone else, and if you want to increase the capability or the put the SBC in between A and B to increase the capability of the voice.
Okay, okay. Mr. Thakra Samavira, if you want to talk, I can allow you to talk as well. If you want another question, you have another question. I'm allowing you to talk. Please ask your question now. Please unmute yourself and ask your question now. Please unmute yourself first. Yeah. Please ask your question now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah. The question is, my question is, I have a cloud server in another location, another country. So I have a TDM line in another location. So I'm always facing a problem. There's some voice quality miss and not stability getting. So I need to make a secure tunnel for A and B location for make more stability and to improve my voice quality. So I want to know this, just like is there a fixing SBC equipment for both locations, or is that enough to fix SBC for B location for make improve the quality?
Right. It's fine to place the SBC in B location because A is sending the traffic towards B, right? So the traffic will pass through the SBC and SBC will get all the media. So it will increase the quality there.
Okay. Then how about the traffic encryption? So I need to pass through the local IP range, not the public static IPs. So that's why at the moment I'm using the Open VPN for made encrypted traffic for cloud server as and my local area location for made tunneling for encryption to protect the IP and traffic quality, but there's some issues. So I think if we set up the SBC, it will improve more than that. Just let me know that.
Right. It will improve the quality. And it
Okay.
has the capability of sending the traffic through the tunnel.
Okay.
So it just required to need to do the routing from the server side through which channel you want to transfer the network packet.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Understand.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your question. Yeah. Any other question? Anybody else? Yeah, I think all are answered. So a wonderful session. Thanks, Tanmay. Thanks, Limon. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. In case you have another question or anything else, you can write down to my email ID as well, sparsh@reefsoft.com. Thank you for your time. I am ending this session now.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone. Goodbye. Have a nice time.
Bye for now.